Ring of Chaos is the new board game from Beadle and Grimm's. Yes, board game. It was quite the splash on Kickstarter, making nearly $500,000 last year. We were kindly given a review copy of both the standard and the deluxe edition when we visited the Beadle and Grimm's booth at Gen Con this year. Ring of Chaos is a low complexity, competitive game for 3 to 6 players that should be playable in 60 to 90 minutes. So let me put on my metaphorical Tom Vasel hat and give you my review of Ring of Chaos. Enhance and improve your 5e games today with Hit Point Press. Explore the whimsical dark carnival setting of Heckna. Will you see through the glitzy charade or fall prey to Heckna's everlasting torment? Or explore the cute but deceptively deep campaign setting of Humblewood, where a new threat imperils the peace between the Humblefolk and the Birdfolk. Add a slew of creative and gorgeously illustrated magical items with the Griffon Saddlebag, and face innovative new bosses each month with their series of big bads. Learn more today at Hit Point Press by using our link in the corner or down below. In Ring of Chaos, each player controls an adventuring party of 4 heroes. Their goal is to acquire 11 summoning points by gaining and maintaining control of the titular Ring of Chaos in this chaotic game of hot potato. You can also win by knocking out all the other players. There are 8 predefined adventuring parties available, each with their own unique power. The first player draws 2, then selects 1, and passes the remaining 1 on to the next player, who draws a new one, and selects between those 2, passing the other one down the line, and so on until everyone has a party. Then each player takes the 4 hero cards that make up their party. Individual heroes don't have any abilities, they're just art cards, but you can slot them into one of 4 classes. You have Fighter, Cleric, Rogue, and Wizard. It doesn't matter who goes where. Once you've chosen your adventuring party, you'll make up a catchphrase that you will yell out to indicate that your turn is done. Then, as a group, you decide which map you want to play on. The only real difference is the layout, but fundamentally they all play the same way. The regular edition comes with this double-sided board you see here. The Platinum Edition comes with an additional double-sided board, which you can see here. Also note that the Platinum Edition boards are larger in size. More on that later. Then everyone draws up a hand of 4 cards to start the game. Then you take your 2 identical standees, or minis, depending on which edition of the game you have, and place one on the map and one on their summoning point track on their personal game board. Your whole party moves together and are all represented by that 1 mini or standee. On each turn, each player draws 3 cards and then takes up to 3 actions. 1 each of a move action, an attack action, and a bonus action in any order. A move action can be playing a move card or moving 2 spaces on the map. An attack action can be playing an attack card or drawing a new card. And a bonus action can be playing a bonus action card, picking up the Ring of Chaos if it's in your space, or stealing it from another party if you are adjacent to them. Then you have to discard down to 5 or fewer cards at the end of your turn. There are 2 main types of attacks, a melee attack against anyone next to you, or a ranged attack against anyone not next to you. You choose which party and which of that player's heroes you want to attack. If that player has an appropriate counter card, they can play it to avoid damage. If they don't, their hero takes damage. Each hero effectively has 2 hit points. The first time a hero takes damage, they can no longer defend, indicated by flipping their card over. In effect, the player can no longer use counter cards to defend against attacks aimed at that hero. The second time they take damage, that hero dies. Now, the goal of the game is to accumulate 11 summoning points. When you take the ring, you get a point. If you're wearing the ring when your turn begins, you get 3 points. You can steal summoning points from other players with some action cards, and if you eliminate another player from the game, you take all their summoning points. But you can only get your final point, the 11th point, from acquiring or wearing the ring. Now, action cards are generally associated with a class as indicated by the color at the top. Blue for Fighter, yellow for Cleric, red for Rogue, and purple for Wizard. And you can only play a class's card if you have an alive party member of that class. And each class has special ability cards, as you can see here. For example, the Fighter can attack twice, the Cleric can resurrect a dead character, the Rogue can steal cards from other players, and the Wizard can fireball a party and any party adjacent to their target. Each class also has melee and ranged attack cards, including 1 each that is unblockable. And you also have character-neutral move, counter, and bonus cards that you can play regardless of which hero you have alive, as long as you have at least 1 alive. Here you can see some of the movement cards which allow you to move around the board and move other players. Here are some of the counter cards to avoid damage, among other things. And here are some bonus cards that let you heal or sometimes steal summoning points. And finally, there are Tomb Guardian monster cards, which damage 1 hero per party subject to counters. There are several different Guardians, but they all do the same thing. If a player loses all their characters, they are knocked out of the game and give their summoning points to whoever defeated their last hero, though they can't gain their 11th point that way. Whoever gets their 11th summoning point first summons the Chaos Gods to their service and wins the game. And that is basically how to play Ring of Chaos. So let's talk about the components next, because as you might expect from Beadle and Grimm's, the components here are pretty top-notch. The game boards, the cards, the artwork, the rulebook, they're all very nicely designed and written. The regular edition comes with 2 each of these 8 standees to represent each party, while the deluxe edition comes with 2 each of these Sundrop minis. So let's slow down real quick and take a look at some of these, because as you know, I love me some minis, and these are pretty great. Let's start with these 4, which could represent PCs in your D&D or Pathfinder games. Real nice sculpts here, though with the Sundrop paint style, they do tend to look more like statues than living players, but you can always repaint them if you want to. The Swashbuckler would make a pretty good Jiraxel mini too. And then we get these more monstrous minis. It looks like a bearded devil, a chunky undead brute, a fearsome lizard folk, and a young dragon or a dragon wormling, and I really do love all these minis. And the standard and deluxe box both come with an actual metal Ring of Chaos that is 1 inch in diameter and fits under a mini. It can also fit on a finger, though it's a little bit big for a ring. I can personally wear it comfortably on my thumb and my middle finger, but it's loose on my other fingers. And now the other differences between the standard and the deluxe editions. As I mentioned earlier, the standard edition contains 1 double-sided map. The deluxe edition includes that one plus a bonus double-sided map, and both are upscaled to 17 by 22 inches. That is roughly 4 times as big as a laminated paper map included in the standard edition. The hero cards also have a spot UV effect on the front that makes the heroes a little bit glossy, and on the back there's a foil effect on the Cannot Defend label. These effects are fairly subtle, particularly on the hero art. Also, the boxes are different. You can see the deluxe box over here featuring some of the hero art, and the standard box right here. So let's talk about the game itself and who it's for. This is a very simple game. It bears some similarities to D&D Onslaught, but Onslaught requires quite a bit more strategy and has more complex rules. Ring of Chaos is going to work best for younger audiences, people newer to modern board games, and people who maybe just want a little simple fun with friends before playing something more complex or playing the regular D&D game. It does include some things that most modern board games have kind of done away with, including knocking players out of the game. When players get eliminated, they're done. They don't play anymore. They can just go get a snack or something. Player elimination does help speed the game on by letting the vanquisher take the summoning points, but it still kind of sucks for that eliminated player. And there's a card in the game called Imprison that effectively skips a player's turn. It's why I don't like the stunned condition against players in 5e. Any game mechanic that just makes it so a player doesn't get to play the game is just inherently not fun for that player. I'm disappointed that the game doesn't really have any team building mechanics. If the rules were a little bit more complex, they could have given each hero a unique attribute or ability, and then you could have had this fun team building component that would have made each game session you play a little bit different. As it is, the heroes are all just art. They don't have any abilities. There are 8 starting powers based on the adventuring party cards you draw, and on the surface they don't seem like they're entirely balanced, but I would be curious to see any kind of win-loss ratios for each party. But the party card is largely the only thing that's going to affect your strategy for each game. Otherwise, it's just kind of an exploding kitten situation where hopefully you have the right card at the right time. Also, do be aware that this is a take that game, so if you don't like that direct competition thing, maybe this won't be the game for you. So if you are a modern board gamer, then I think you'll know if this is a game for you. It's definitely more of an American style than a Euro, if you're familiar with those terms. If you're new to board games, I think you need to weigh this against Onslaught. This game is simpler, quicker, and handles more players 3 to 6. Onslaught is more strategic and is strictly a one-on-one 2-player game. Honestly, Ring of Chaos might be best viewed as a chaotic, hot potato style party game more than anything else. It's just simple, rather mindless fun. It's not the kind of game that I particularly enjoy because I'm more of a Euro gamer. I like games like Roll for the Galaxy and La Granja and Terraforming Mars. You can see some of my board game collection here behind me. But if this sounds like a blast for your gaming group, Ring of Chaos will be available in August 2024. The standard edition rate here will be $45, and the Platinum Edition over here will be $95. Let me know what you think about them in the comment section down below, and go check out our sponsor, Hit Point Press. They don't have any board games that I know of, but they certainly have a ton of accessories, books, and adventures to enhance your D&D games. And you can find me on social media at one of the sites over here. For now, though, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.